Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. Today, in this video, I want to talk about the master who worked through Benjamin Creme. Now, as of the recording of this video, which is April of 2019, no one except for Benjamin Creme knew and knows the identity of this particular master, because Benjamin Creme was not allowed to say it. The only thing that he was allowed to say was that this master's name is well known in esoteric circles, and that was it. And to be honest with you, I never really had a desire to know his master's name. I was just always considered myself fortunate to read his articles monthly in Benjamin Creme's magazine, Share International magazine. And you can actually read his articles if you go to share-international.org. They still have them printed up, and you can read them. You can also buy it in book form if you like to read it, like that. Fortunate also to see Benjamin Creme's paintings, and because according to Benjamin Creme, his master was the inspiration behind every one of his paintings and actually helped him paint these paintings, whether it was coming up with a design in the painting or the use of this color or that color or whatever, I don't know. But according to Benjamin Creme, they did. And I find his work, being an artist myself, I find his work very, very intriguing. It's different. And it's not everybody's cup of tea, as Benjamin Creme would say. But, the thing about it is, when Benjamin Creme would describe what the meaning behind his paintings, a lot of times you're looking at a very simple image, but yet there's this profound truth to it, or a very complex esoteric meaning to it. And it was just, but it was formed, it was the teaching is coming in a very simple image on his painting. I mean, it's just, you'd have to see his paintings and hear Benjamin Creme talk. And there's actually a museum now out in California, out in Southern California, the Benjamin Creme Museum. If you're ever out that way and interested in esoteric art, I definitely recommend checking it out, because they go in great depth about the meaning behind his paintings. But, so it didn't really matter to me who his master is, and it still doesn't. I don't really look for who the identity of this master is. It's more about the work. Just the same thing with Maitreya. As much as I talk about Maitreya, the master, it's not really important to know who Maitreya is. Maitreya would say the same thing. It's the truth behind his words. That's what's really important, the need for peace, and how do you get there? Well, you can't do it without sharing the world's resources first to create justice. And then that justice will create peace, and then that peace, guess what, will create a future, because without peace, there's no future. Eventually we will not be here on this planet if we can't work out the whole peace issue. So it's the same thing with Benjamin Creme's master. Now, the other thing too is that I found, enriching by knowing Benjamin Creme personally, but also by reading his magazines, and is how every month these articles, he like I said, that were published, but he talks about anything from who Maitreya is, like in the article, The Son of Man, to some of his priorities, and he would break them down into this kind of, that kind of priority, and let's talk about this today. And then he would also, talk about the current events of the time. So, something would happen, like such as 9/11 or something like this, and to get a master's perspective on some of these events, I found quite enriching, for lack of a better word. And I know that these videos, I'm sidestepping for a second, I know these videos don't do these masters any justice, because I'm trying to keep them under 10 minutes when I talk about them, but because they are, these individual masters, their work is a lot more profound than I'm giving it credit. But so I'm just saying that to say, but especially this one per se, because a lot is known about this master, even though we don't know his identity, a lot about he really spoke for the hierarchy and spoke for the masters of wisdom as a whole about the fascism that was coming into the United States under the Bush administration, the need for sharing, and the need to help save our environment by coming up with a slogan like SOP, save our environment or save our planet, and so all this came from Benjamin Creme's master. And according to Benjamin Creme, his master will be out working in the world along with Maitreya and the Master Jesus and these other masters pretty soon after Maitreya comes out known for who he is. Now, he's already out on TV, of course, but he's not claiming to be Maitreya. Eventually, he will declare himself as Maitreya. And after that, he'll start to introduce these masters one by one or as a group or whatever. So I'm sure somebody will ask one of these masters, are you the one that, no, that wasn't me. Were you the one that was working through Benjamin Creme? Yes, that was me. And then we'll know his identity for sure, right? But according to Benjamin Creme himself, his relationship with his master started in kind of an interesting way. But he said he was walking down the street one day. He had no desire to have this kind of relationship, being overshadowed by masters or whatever. He knew about the masters, he said, but he didn't have any kind of desire about it. He was just a painter doing his thing, living in London, had a family, I think, at the time. And this guy just approached him on the street and said, hey, one of the masters, I don't think he used the word hey. That's more of a southern United States kind of phrase. But he said to him, just want to let you know that there's a master who's been trying to contact you telepathically, and the messages have been bouncing off of you. And Benjamin Creme said, no, that's not me. He goes, you must be thinking of somebody else, because he didn't even think he was, he would have the ability to be able to do that. And this guy said, no, this is true. He's been trying to contact you and hasn't been able to get through. But if you do X, Y, or Z, and Benjamin Creme said he'll never be allowed to say what X, Y, and Z were. But so he did it, and he said it must have worked because he was getting out of the shower one night and he heard this thought in his head. And he said it was louder than any thought that he would have had. When we speak to ourselves, that inner voice, it was louder than that voice. And it told him to go to a certain bridge in London in the evening time. And he said, it was a few days from then. And so, according to Benjamin Creme, this particular bridge was typically busy during the day with business, people going from, walking in London, but at night it was kind of quiet. So he got there at that time, and there wasn't anybody really on the bridge except for there was a car parked at the end of the bridge. And he walked over, and there were several people in this car, one of whom was one of the person who came up to him and told him that he was receiving these messages. And he got in the car, and these people in the car were actually people from other planets. They were space brothers that were living here on the planet themselves. But they of course don't look like aliens that we would think that they would look like. They look like us because these space brothers, all without exception, are human. They're just from another planet. And so, but these particular space brothers had been from whatever planet they were from. So according to Benjamin Creme, that kind of got the whole thing started. And then he started to work more and more with this particular master to the point where they had a moment-to-moment relationship where he could contact him at any moment about a question or even a look, according to Benjamin Creme, that if you were at his lecture or something like this and you, as Benjamin Creme looked through the crowd, his master could see you through him. He referred to Benjamin Creme as his window into the world, so to speak. And he could send a healing or a blessing to a person, or he could answer their question or so forth, but he would know who was talking to Benjamin Creme moment to moment. Even a touch, as Benjamin Creme, if he would shake somebody's hand, that his master if he wanted to, shake your hand through Benjamin Creme kind of deal. And it was quite extraordinary. But the main thing is, the quality of the information that his master generously gave through all of Benjamin Creme's interviews and questions that we would ask him and people would ask him and so forth, and that were published in Share International and stuff. So if you really want to know the thoughts of a master, I really recommend reading Alice Bailey's books. You can read the thoughts of the Master DK, which I put a video up about him not too long ago. And then if you want to hear the thoughts of a different master, go online and read these articles that Benjamin Creme's master generously gave through Benjamin Creme monthly through Share International, or buy one of Benjamin Creme's books or something like that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. His perspective on life and us and what we're doing wrong and all sorts of things is just quite extraordinary. And I really look forward to the day that this master will be working out in the world, known for who he is. But I look forward more to the day of getting more and more of his perspective on things, because it was, I can't say enough about it. But anyway. And as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.